Well, one way that Kim helps us solve problems is through Princess Speak. And I think it's time that Kim comes back to stage so we can step into Princess Speak.
Surprise! Thank you all. This week's Princess Speak words, I am so got my language broken, I'm going to say, but it's very fitting because the phrase this week is broken bits. And sometimes when we're business owners and entrepreneurs, we will have broken bits in our business that we need to slow down and fix. We just did sequencing in Groundwork Brigade today. And I think it's fitting that when you're connecting the dots for your business, you check all the different bits that connect together, because how many here have had something that was broken and somebody couldn't get to you and you didn't know it? Because I'm pretty sure, and you watching, I'm pretty sure you can raise your hand too. This is one of my silly terms, but I love this one because it really is the broken bits that can keep someone from finding you, from connecting with you, from buying from you. So check those bits.
I
Well,
think it's important to, oh, I'm sorry, go ahead,
No, you
Adam.
go ahead, Kat. You go first.
I was just going to say that it's important to know that. Sometimes you don't know what you don't know, and you don't realize it's broken until someone brings it to your attention. And now I'm trying very diligently to make sure everything is working the way it should be working. And that's because of you, Kim. So thank you for that.
Thank you for saying that, Kat.
Yes, I've had the recent experience of broken bits on my website in a few ways, and I am very grateful that I have people in my life who took the time to point out to me what wasn't working so I could go ahead and fix it because I didn't know that they were broken. And another thing that has helped me also make sure things are working is once a month, and this is a tip that Denise Millay gave me, was to once a month check all of the links on my website to make sure they are still working. And I have it on my calendar, and every month I go through to make sure that there are no broken links or a link hasn't expired. And if so, I make sure I update it or I delete the link from my site. So I'm very grateful to Denise for that tip.
And even in our masterminds, the repetitiveness of checking our connections in making sure that those sequences are still intact and that nobody's being dropped off at a dead end someplace when they're coming to find us or connect with us. And that's been really big for, I think, a lot of us in the big things that we're all starting to do. And like when we look at the Chronicles, all these new things that we're starting, like new shows and books, how are we making sure those aren't becoming broken bits? So that's been really helpful in practicing and following through with making sure that we don't have those spots.
Well, I have to say out loud how proud I am of all of you checking those connections, because you can leave people who are looking for you. You can drop them off somewhere and they can't get to you. And that is a sad state of affairs to me. Is you want to make sure that they can find you and do business with you and build a relationship with y'all. If y'all don't already know Adam, Kat, and Jill, I'm going to say you really need to, because they're people to know. So I think that that's an important part. And y'all did a rocking job today. I'm going to say I was playing in the green room and moving around the stage, and I know that they were a little nervous about it because when I go rogue, I go really rogue, but I'm really proud of y'all for the show.
We just went with the flow, or tried to. I don't think we had a choice, Kim.
No, we did not. We put our best Madonna on and we went with the flow, like she would say in Vogue. Go with the flow.
I think it's all in good practice for what we have coming up next week as we get ready to have the Fierce Entrepreneur Summit. So there's always ulterior motives, it feels like, when these fun rogue moments come up.
And we are going to be talking about connections on the Fierce Entrepreneur Summit next Friday night at 6 p.m. Central Time. So you want to make sure to tune in for that. And Kim, I realized something about this week's Princess Speak Word of Broken Bits relates very well to last week's Princess Speak Word of Don't Drop Them Off at the Corner. So I like the correlation.
I like that connection, Adam, a lot.
But that's what we're here for. We're here on Good Morning Entrepreneurs for connections, and also with the Fierce Entrepreneur Summit coming up next Friday. It's also all about connections, and we want to connect with you. So we hope that you will tune into that so you can connect with us and we can connect with you.
Absolutely.
I would love to know if you all have any final thoughts, even if they're just random, because I think this show was a little different and I think it was really good, y'all.
I will say I heard so many pieces of each of the Roving Reporter segments that did connect from one to another without the intention behind it, it felt like, that I could just be like, oh, Kat mentioned that here, or Yvonne mentioned that there. And it was so seamless, this the information that we all brought to the table today. So I was very excited to have us all not having broken bits in the topics we talked about today.
I think we all start, I don't want to say sound like each other, but we always start talking, I call them Kim-isms. And I find that I'm always, saying something that Kim said, and everyone's like, oh, that's awesome. I go, I know, right? This came from my mastermind. And so we start talking, and this becomes like part of our vocabulary when we're talking to other entrepreneurs. So it's very, I think you used the word seamless, Jill, where it just we start parroting, but we say it in a way that, that we've heard it and we understand it. So, and that's all Kim, that's a Kim-ism, I'm just going to say.
Thank you for your sweet words, Kat.
I'm just going to say this was a great show. It was a lot of fun to have the layout played with. It kept us on our toes, kept us having no idea what was going to happen. And we hope that you who are watching enjoy the variety that we bring every week and all the different segments. And I know I've said this probably 5 times throughout the show, but you can never say it too many times. I hope you join us next Friday night, April 12th, for the Fierce Entrepreneur Summit. We would love to see you. And as I mentioned earlier, if you RSVP on the My Sexy Business website, you can get a link to join us at the after party, and we can get to know each other even more.
In quick closing, I'm going to say, check your bits, make sure they're not broken, make sure you're connecting, my sweet entrepreneurs out there. So love y'all, and let's dance it out. Join us next Friday at 7 a.m. Central.
This is the team signing off for Good Morning Entrepreneurs.